Welcome to Cold War Commander, a game where you try to outwit and outmatch your opponent in order to survive the Cold War. To start off with, you and up to 3 other players will sit at a pod with a game mat in front of you. The game mat is designed to give you instructions and also to keep track of your life score for the game. In addition, it will show you where to place the shared deck and where to discard your used cards as well. On the bottom of each corner of your playmat, you'll see the directions for each of your turns. This will give you the steps to begin, optional things you can do in the middle, and also what you do at the end in order to end your turn. In addition, you will also see a dial, which will give you your player's score. Each player starts with 20 life points. In addition, each player starts with 6 cards in their hand. Different types of cards. To begin with are resource and money cards. These are the cards that you will use and cash in order to play other cards. Note that most of the other cards have a total at the top for how much resources or money each of the cards cost. Instant cards. You'll notice they're instant cards because they have a little lightning bolt in the bottom left-hand corner. These are cards that you cash into the discard pile if you have enough resources and money to pay for them, and they happen instantly. Sometimes you'll gain a life, sometimes a player will lose a life, or it'll perform another action. Battlefield cards. This is your military and nuclear cards. You'll notice that they are battlefield cards because they have a little castle on the bottom left-hand corner. These are going to be the cards that you use to attack other players and to block from other players as well in order to defend yourself. For the battlefield, any cards that you are playing from the battlefield go directly in front of you and your player mat. This is going to be used to defend yourself or to attack other players. Do not play battlefield cards directly into the discard pile unless you've already used them and they've been blocked or are dead. In order to cast any cards, you'll notice that there is a dollar or resource value at the top of each of the corners. This will tell you how much it costs in order to cast each card. If you don't have enough resources or money, you can't play that card this turn. Steps for each turn. In order to begin your turn, when it comes around to you, you will cash in any money or resource cards that you have in order to play any additional cards. Again, if you don't have enough money or resources for those cards, you can't play it that turn. You can then cash them in by putting them into the discard pile and playing them against each other, either by gaining yourself points, attacking somebody else, whatever the card says. The directions are on all the cards. In addition, if you have any battlefield cards that you want to use to attack another player, you can do this at that time. If you're not happy with your hand, that's perfectly fine. Maybe you don't like any of the cards in your hand. What you can do is you can discard as many cards as you want to, and then at the end of your turn, you draw back up to refill your hand. Again, starting hand is 6 cards. Attacking and blocking. Your military cards that you'll have on your battlefield can be used either to attack other players or block other players. You can pick any other player on the board that you want to attack. They do not have to have a military in front of them. In fact, it might be better if they don't have a military in front of them. At the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see what each value is for attacks and blocks. They are not the same. Again, each of the steps of this action are listed on the card. If you're ever confused, just read the card. Let's say, for example, the bomber is attacking the fighter jet, and the fighter jet person is using their card to defend. Because the bomber has 4 attack points and the fighter jet only has 3 block points, one of those attackers is going to be able to get through. However, any card that is blocked or is a blocker has to be discarded as well as the attacking player as well. So in this instance, the bomber takes out the fighter jet, but 1 life point gets through. The player would then take their spinner and lower their total score by 1 life point. In addition, since the attacker was blocked and the blocker blocked, both of those cards are now put into the discard pile. Nuclear cards. There are two different types of nuclear cards in this game. Nuclear power plants are played in order to increase the size of your hand. The starting hand size is 6 cards. For each nuclear power plant card that you have, your hand size increases by 1 card. In addition, you can also cash in your nuclear power plant cards in order to pay for nuclear bombs. You need to cash in 3 nuclear power plants, as well as a money and a resource card, in order to play a nuclear bomb. The nuclear bomb then goes onto your battlefield. With a nuclear bomb, you can play this card at any time, and it cannot be blocked. The target of this, the person you're attacking, will then have 2 turns before the 15 points is subtracted from their life counter. This gives them a chance to theoretically attack you back. If you have any questions with the game, please read through the cards again. Most of the directions are right on each of the cards. The person with the highest life total at the end in each game pod is the winner. Good luck. Hope you survive.